Hey, good morning. I just love seeing all these hearts in the chat. Good morning. Hey, everyone. Don't forget to use melanated Mrs. Claus, okay? Because we've only got a finite amount of time before Christmas. So let's not forget the melanated or just Mrs. Claus, period. Of all flavors, but if you're sending them to me, you can send one, you can send a melanated one in my direction if you like, with some hearts. I love Mrs. Claus. So us moms, we make that thing happen. Of course dads do too, but we're talking moms. Hey kitten, good morning. Hey ladies. Miss Mabes, good morning. Erica, Tina, gang stars, good morning. Once upon a twin mom life, how are you? Um, Ivy, good morning. Good morning. And Cheyenne, once upon a twin mom life, I think for the 2 times. Siobhan, excuse me, what did I say? Siobhan, Cheyenne, India, Kitten, Live, Laugh, Love. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing? Guys, look, there's a lot to talk about. We are going to take a little field trip over to the other side of town because we got some catching up to do. Okay, let's go on over here and let's get into it because girl, it's some laughs going on in some other places. So let's get all the way caught up, okay? Really quick, is this where I want it to be? Okay. Let's get caught up with here first. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a good evening. I know we were up. I don't know if we were up a little late last night, but I said, you know what? Let me handle this business and get on here early with you guys because I know a lot of you guys are at the office handling business and like when I come through in the morning. Yeah, ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry, 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 merry. Merry Christmas. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. Let's make some assumptions because we really don't know. We just know what we see and we're just going to talk about it. Okay. So, good morning. Someone was at entering the property of the airport, so they say. Last night, we know Liv was live, and I don't know if she went to the airport or not. I don't know if kids are getting out of school at the moment in your area. I know our kids in this area, kids get out of school. They are out starting next week. But kids in other areas, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to watch and see. But Liv was very cryptic last night. We talked about it. She was talking about potentially giving up and heading on back somewhere. She said she was going to be moving. Now, does it mean she's moving to Florida? We don't know. Does it mean she's moving to a smaller place? We already heard her kind of low-key complaining about where she stayed. Why do I need to have all these rooms when I just have the kids and they sleep in my room anyway? Maybe it's too much, but Liv has a lot of stuff. Okay. So where she's going to go with all those things were those things that you guys purchased. Loyalty gang, it ain't my problem. We don't care. I definitely don't care. Okay. Let me put this disclaimer up real quick. I don't care. What's she gonna do with all that junk she acquired just since being there? Sis, I don't know because I got plenty of room at my house, but not my problem. So we don't know where she's going. But last night, at least on Instagram, sis was headed towards DFW airport. And I don't know if that's the airport where she meets Gerard to get the kids. Is she scoot booting out of town? We don't know. But sis was on her way to the airport. And then no sooner, well, here she is posting as if like, girl, turn around and let's see the front. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, nobody cares. You're heavily female audience, no one cares. I don't know what the click was for. Own lane, own race, own pace. Okay, why don't you print that out and put that on your refrigerator so you can remember all about that? Okay. Then something else. Is that from The Notebook? That was such a sad movie. Every time I watch it, if you guys hadn't seen The Notebook, that movie makes me cry every single time. That's a sad movie. What's this? In Texas, a plaintiff suing for defamation typically must show that the defendant made a false statement of a fact about a plaintiff. 2, the statement was communicated or published to a third party, and the statement blackened the memory of the dead or injured a living person's reputation. I don't know who, girl, you might want to print that out too and put that on your refrigerator. Okay. Let's keep going. We don't care. Okay, let's keep going. Just trust God. Okay. Absolutely. Dear me, there's a future you looking back and being so proud you didn't give up. Girl, we'll see. Handle your business as a mother. You had him, you stay with him. What is that? That's a foot of someone. Okay, fun fact, I'm quite flexible. So that's supposed to be her foot? I doubt it. I think she's laying up between someone's legs. Whose foot is that? We don't know. Okay. Girl, Liv went and found her somebody. Liv found some dick. She found some dick. Girl, she found some. Okay, good for her. This is gonna roll right into someone else. Girl got links, got orders. Okay, and ladylike apparel. So it seems. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Keisha gonna get tired of me counting her orders. Was there music playing? Okay. All right, Julie Chan, we gonna stop right there. Okay, let's pivot. Okay, Keisha got orders, y'all. Okay. Let me let me change the set and we're gonna Belina B, what's good, sis? How are you? Girl, she always finds some random deal. Look, a man is not hard to find. Like any of you guys out here who are like on the struggle bus finding a nice guy, now you got to rethink your list and rethink what's driving. You know, if you're just looking for a good time, your actions are going to meet your words, right? So if you're looking for a good time, you're going to find a good time guy. If you're looking for a husband, then operate accordingly. Okay. All right. If you're looking for a screw, don't be mad because your screw isn't Prince Charming. You're looking for a screw, right? That being said, men are in abundance. You know why? Because in a way, there's less of them than us. That's just the way it works, right? That's the way it happened. There's always going to be more women than men, and they're available. They're available. They may not be yours because we've seen this all up and down the internet. There's plenty of men out here that don't mind a indiscretion. They're dating multiple women. We're going to hear about that in a little bit. Um, we're going to hear about that in a little bit. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you want to find someone who wants to just be with you, he's out there. Trust me, but you've got to operate accordingly, and doesn't mean don't have your fun. Have your fun, but when you're ready for like something serious and you put yourself in serious mindset, that serious mindset man will cross your path. You just have to have your eyes open and ready. You understand what I'm saying? You just, your words and your actions have to line up. You know what I'm saying? If you're misaligned, if you're all over the place, you're going to hear from men like you're kind of all over the place. You don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be confused and they're going to keep it pushing because remember, they have more selection than we do, right? Okay. Anyway, let's keep rolling right along. Where should we go next? Considering we just talked about that, let's talk on this. Hold on. Let me flip to this one. Let me share my screen. So in case you guys were wondering and want to follow, sis, you may have already seen this, so I might be late to the party on this. This is homegirl. Hold on. This is Miss Ma'am, Derrick Jaxn's lady. This is who he was in Miami with instead of Miss Danae. That's who he ditched his wife for the weekend. Okay. That's Miss Official Pinky. Miss Official Pinky Love. That's who Derrick Jaxn went goo goo gaga for and notified his wife whilst vacationing in Miami that yes, sis, he's not coming back. Okay. He met her on IG. So if you didn't know, that's her right there. Official underscore Pinky Love. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. That's Danae. Now we can see. Hold on, I'm on my wrong account. Hold on 1 second. Let's do this. So you can see. Let me see. I'm on my vlog account. Let me go to my other one so you can see because I follow Derrick Jaxn on my other one. But yeah, he definitely follows her. A mess, right? I mean, if that's what he wants to do, I don't know what that man wants to do, but girl, he can go on and do it, and we nobody cares. Um, let's see. Let's go back to. Okay. All right, and then you can see Mr. Derrick Jaxn. Ooh. Mr. Derrick follows his. I mean, he may as well be following her. He spent the weekend with her, so that's that on that, right? And we know what's going on over there. Derrick Jaxn hasn't posted anything else about the affair. Danae, I need to check in over there and see what she's got going on, but we're not going to do that at the moment. But men dating multiple women, we got to hear about this. I know you guys know about this happen. Basically, I think it's been 2 years ago now. Let's get caught up on this because it's in court right now. And I covered this 2 years ago. But what's going on now is the actual trial. You know, Tory Lanez is in court and all of the juicy details have come out. And I'm not surprised, but I am surprised just because I'm like, I really didn't know that. I was kind of surprised, girl. I really was. But let's refresh our memories to the day that we all saw this on the internet. Do you guys remember this? Remember this night? The story is coming out about what actually happened. I mean, there's two different versions about what could have possibly happened. We really don't know. But we do know that there was very little clothes, there was a gun, and somebody got shot in the foot, Megan. And as far as who did it, it's being tried right now, basically. Okay. And I'm gonna give you an update about it in just a second. But you guys remember this, okay? It's funny. This person says, always go back to the beginning. Thanks to social media, we see things in real time because of clout chasers. Tory Lanez defense says Kelsey Harris, Meg the Stallion's BFF, pulled the trigger. Did you guys hear this? That it might not necessarily have been Tory Lanez. It could have been Kelsey. Pay attention to Kelsey's behavior while surrounded by LAPD on the ground and in the air. According to Tory Lanez, the defense attorneys are saying that it was an argument that broke out. And let me get you over here because this person has been in the courtroom, and he is doing very detailed updates. Let me get you over here and we're going to hear what is really going on.
We had opening statements. Opening statements are still actually going. We have to pause midway through for lunch. Better than TV. If you watch the prosecution's opening statement, you would say guilty. If you then watch the defense's opening statement, you would say, what the hell is the prosecution thinking, charging him? Basically, the prosecution started with this story. They said that, hey, they're all at the party and Tory is leaving the party with Meg. They're in the car. An argument breaks out during which Meg says and insults his skills as a rap artist. This leads to a situation where she gets out of the car and he shoots at her feet and yells, dance bitch. And then she ends up at a hospital and a doctor takes out 3 fragments of bullet wounds from her foot. Now, if you just hear, and the prosecution says that Kelsey, the other woman in the car, is going to testify that Tory shot Meg. And Kelsey has a text message where she texts somebody that, hey, Tory shot Meg. And then the rest of the prosecution's case is based on all these calls and texts where Tory's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so drunk. He never says that I shot him. He's just like, oh, I'm just so sorry. I'm so drunk. So question what he's apologizing for. So that's the prosecution's case. Seems pretty easy. Then the defense comes up and man, it gets spicy. First, the defense goes, they're not telling you about half of what's going on. The most important thing they're not telling you about an eyewitness who saw 2 women fighting, Kelsey and Meg. And so let's talk about why them 2 are fighting. Let's talk about how she was in the front seat. The gun was caught in the front seat. Let's talk about how she might have gunpowder. She does have gunpowder. Let's talk about how this has nothing to do with the fight between Tory and Meg and everything to do with the fight between Meg and Kelsey. And then the defense starts dropping the bombs. He basically says this, that they're in the car. Yeah, they left. But do you know why they left? They left because Kylie and Tory were in the pool together. And Kelsey and Meg both felt some type of way about that, to the point that Meg felt real at least some type of way about that. And she was really trying to go to the point that eventually, because of how Meg is acting, this is according to the defense, Kylie Jenner goes to Meg Thee Stallion and says, it's time for you to leave. They all leave. The defense's point is what happens in the car is this. Tory questions Kelsey, hey, Kelsey, why are you backing up Meg for me trying to, get it on with Kylie Jenner? Meg has been snaking men from you your whole life. I hooked up with you, Kelsey, and then Meg went behind your back and hooked up with me. And Kelsey, this is not the first time. You had been hooking up with Ben Simmons. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with Ben Simmons. You had been hooking up with the baby. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with the baby. And so the defense starts dropping all these grenades. The crowd is captivated. The jury is like, oh, what's going on? And there's every reason to believe that there could have been a fight here, not between Tory and Meg, but between Meg and Kelsey. And the shooting could have not been Tory. It could have been done by any one of the other people in that car. What does all of this mean? Well, I'll tell you a couple things. First, Corey Gamble, Kris Jenner's husband, is going to testify, so this will continue to be must-see TV. Two, the judge is terrific. I expect a very fair trial. The lawyers on the defense side are terrific. I don't know what the government lawyer was doing, giving an opening presentation that made it seem like the most open and shut case ever, when in fact there are huge questions, including an eyewitness who saw two women fighting, suggesting that you have to explain that theory to the jury, and you didn't. So I don't love the prosecution's opening in that regard. Stay tuned. We'll have the full coverage here. It's up and it's stuck in the Tory Lanez trial.
Do you guys love a lawyer that uses it's up and it's stuck? Okay, so this guy has an Instagram page. It's Lawyers for Workers. You can see right here. He is a employment law attorney in New York City. He actually gained some popularity about 4 years ago when he ended up in the same courtroom with Tekashi 6ix9ine and started doing coverage on cases randomly, right? So he has a pretty popular page. Now, his main scope of practice revolves around employment law and helping the people. So he has a pretty nice practice in terms of he's for the people. He's here to make sure that the people of New York, if you are a worker in New York and you have a problem, that he's going to help you solve it. He's going to go against corporate America and he's going to get you your money, right? If you've been wrongfully terminated, all of those things, go check out his page. But he also does coverage on cases. So he's either in the courtroom, he's watching, he's giving synopsis. He's very, he gives really good, easy explanations. And he is now covering this Tory Lanez case. So, very interesting. And this was part one. But did you hear all of the juicy details? Okay. If in fact, it was just a lot. It was a lot to unpack. He mentioned Ben Simmons. Wasn't Kendall dating Ben Simmons? They're over there at Kylie's house. Kylie and Tory were getting a little too close for comfort. What was going on with Travis Scott at the time? Meg and Kelsey fighting over guys. Who is Kelsey? Kelsey is the best friend who also traveling companion that used to be with her and a bunch of, friend, it's not televised. He was just saying this. Well, I think in the next clip, he's going to talk about this is the case that should have been on TV. Forget about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But probably there is a site that puts out very specific notes from court cases. And I forget what it's called, but Emily D. Baker talks about it all the time. And I'll see, because I don't know if Emily D. Baker is even covering this. I'm going to see if she's covering it, because if she is, she may have a great synopsis of it too, or maybe closer to, completion. Nikki, he also mentioned Corey Gamble. He called Corey Gamble Kris Jenner's husband. Is that, we've always thought that was just the boyfriend. We know he's an accomplished businessman. He manages Justin Bieber. So we know he has quite the portfolio of high profile entertainers. So homie does make money. Make no mistake. Corey Gamble's no bum or anything. But at the end of the day, I guess he must have been in the mist somewhere and has some information that he's being called to testify. But at the end of the day, like, he dropped so many bombs. Now, if Corey Gamble is called to testify and they have him listed as Kris Jenner's husband, is that some tea? Is Kris Jenner actually married to Corey Gamble, or is that just still her boyfriend? Because that's just an interesting kind of side note detail. Like, who cares if Kris Jenner's married or not? But interesting if Kris Jenner is married to Corey Gamble. I didn't know that. Okay, let's go to the next clip and see what else is going on, because he's got
All right,
more.
we're back with the rest of the update in Tory Lane. So we are taking our afternoon break. There's going to be more testimony at the end of the day. But right now, let me catch you up on what's happened since lunch. The defense continued and concluded their opening statement. They confirmed that their theory of the case is going to be that Kelsey was the shooter. Tory was just trying to break up the fight. Then the prosecution went up. They put on a police officer as their first witness. This is the police officer who arrived at the scene of the shooting. He testified about how he saw gun casings, blood spatter. This was a big mistake, in my opinion, because the defense attorney ended up tearing this police officer's testimony to shreds. He basically got the officer to admit that they did not use the proper evidence markers to mark and identify the location of every piece of evidence. So the police cannot tell you where blood was found exactly in relation to the gun casings, where, based on the trail of blood, the victim.
I think at the end of the day, about Meg being vindicated, I don't think Meg shot herself in the foot. Someone shot Meg in the foot. Maybe she doesn't know who shot her in the foot, because it sounds like there might have been some sort of a tussle, and at the end of the day, she got shot in the foot. Now, does she know who shot her in the foot? Apparently, she thinks it's Tory. She said it was Tory. Maybe she's like, that's my story, I'm sticking with it. At the end of the day, I think that something had to be established that she didn't shoot herself, right? There's got to be some evidence she didn't shoot herself. But who shot her? Who knows? I mean, I guess that's what we're going to find out. If it was Kelsey, that could explain why these two are not friends at all anymore. We'll see. Okay.
Victim would have walked around. They can't tell and paint the whole story of what happened when the person got out of the car. Why, if you can't paint that story, why, if you didn't use the evidence markers, why, if you purportedly have a very simple case, did you waste your time making your first witness a police officer whose testimony is going to get torn to shreds by the defense attorney? Big mistake, in my opinion, if you ask me. From here going forward, the defense will always be able to point out that the government's investigation is completely incapable of telling the jury about the movement of the victim outside of the car. So if you're trying to inject reasonable doubt, alternative theories, you've now done a great job setting it up that the government's story has holes in it. All right, we're back with the rest of the update. And
now, you know, if Kelsey shot Megan, and it wasn't Tory, that kind of throws that out the window, because that was some femicide. That was some female on female, maybe not femicide, but you know, it was female on female violence, right? So at the end of the day, we just have to be careful who we are with. You know what I'm saying? We have to be very careful, and that's all women. Let's just be real. Women have to be very careful, because at the end, I know people don't want to hear the weaker sex, but as far as us men being stronger in terms of physically stronger, physically bigger, all of those things, I mean, it's just a fact, right? Women should guard their bodies, their sanctity, their peace with every bit of strength you can muster. I mean, you should not be around anyone who means you no good, because we've been seeing in the news what can come of it. There's a story I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while. A woman, she's not from Charlotte, but she was killed in Charlotte. I think she was on a dating site. I don't want to say which one, but she met someone off the internet. She came and met him here, and she ended up dead behind a trash can in a apartment complex, like a low income apartment complex here in Charlotte. And her Mercedes was missing. And the people that found her were actually live streaming on Facebook Live, walked up to her dead body. And there were a couple of women in the midst. I'm sure these were probably young people, but it was a couple of females with one or two males. And the guys were just talking about stripping the body of the jewelry she was wearing whilst they were live streaming on Facebook Live. So I don't know if you heard about the people who came across the dead body while on Facebook Live. But apparently, this woman who was identified was from somewhere up north, maybe closer to Greensboro. Her Mercedes was missing. The man who she went to meet was arrested, but they're still trying to piece together what actually happened. But it the murder became evident because of the Facebook Live. Thankfully for Facebook Live and the I don't even know what word to put on the people who live streamed it when they realized, like, oh shit, that's a dead body. But it was weird. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But interesting story, interesting case. But you got to be careful because some of these people on the internet that you meet mean you absolutely no good. And unfortunately, this was a woman with a little bit of coin. And I guess she met someone opportunist and also someone who, was dangerous because you see what happened. But unfortunately, let's keep going with this and let's finish this up and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, Meg did get shot in the foot. And I think there's probably enough evidence that they probably believe that she didn't do it to herself. Now, did Tory do it? Did Kelsey do it? That's the question.
And Tory Lanez. So we are taking our afternoon break. There's going to be more testimony at the end of the day. But right now, let me catch you up on what's happened since lunch. The defense continued and concluded their opening statement. They confirmed that their theory of the case is going to be that Kelsey was the shooter. Tory was just trying to break up the fight. Then the prosecution went up. They put on a police officer as their first witness. This is the police officer who arrived at the scene of the shooting. He testified about how he saw gun casings, blood spatter. This was a big mistake, in my opinion, because the defense attorney ended up tearing this police officer's testimony to shreds. He basically got the officer to admit that they did not use the proper evidence markers to mark and identify the location of every piece of evidence. So the police cannot tell you where blood was found exactly in relation to the gun casings, where, based on the trail of blood, the victim would have walked around. They can't tell and paint the whole story of what happened when the person got out of the car. Why, if you can't paint that story, why, if you didn't use the evidence markers, why, if you purportedly have a very simple case, did you waste your time making your first witness a police officer whose testimony is going to get torn to shreds by the defense attorney? Big mistake, in my opinion, if you ask me. From here going forward, the defense will always be able to point out that the government's investigation is completely incapable of telling the jury about the movement of the victim outside of the car. So if you're trying to inject reasonable doubt, alternative theories, you've now done a great job setting it up that the government's story has holes in it. All right, we're back with the rest.
Okay, so you heard that. Virgo Doll was saying something about the evidence markers. Yeah, they didn't do that. And I don't know if it was because there was so much going on when this happened. Let's see, hold on. How we started, okay? All of this was happening, right? At the time. Let me pull this back up. Remember, this was the scene. So you had helicopters, police officers, and oh shit, Meg the Stallion just comes out the back with a bullet in her foot, unable to walk. So she's got on a bathing suit and a cover-up, right? Kelsey, I guess, was already out of the car. Tory Lanez, I don't know if he was out of the car yet, but this is what's going on, okay? She can barely walk, and you have a very high-profile scene. You have two very popular celebrities in a very odd situation, and once again, I hate to say it, LAPD drops the ball in not securing the scene and securing the evidence in a way that 2 years later, when there's an actual trial going on, that can really tell the story. So here comes Kelsey getting out. Okay. There's Meg laying down. There's Kelsey backing up. And I guess Tory Lanez is going to be coming out in a second. All right. Okay. Maybe that's Tory right there. Kelsey. And then I think there should be another person. The security guy. Girl, look at Kelsey arguing. Okay. Girl. Okay. All right, let's go back here. And let's go to the next update.
Yo, as I'm covering this Meg Tory trial, trust, there is a whole team of...
Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the...
All right, we wrapped up the first day of Tory Lanez trial testimony. Let me tell you what happened at the end of the day. This will be a two-parter. On this first part, let's cover what prosecutors believe is their key piece of evidence after the testimony they expect to get from Meg and the other woman who was in the car. So here's the prosecutor's point, that there's a jailhouse phone call reminder to everyone: when you get arrested and you're sitting in jail, they are listening, they are recording. What you say on that phone will be used against you. According to prosecutors, Tory calls the other woman who was in the car, Kelsey, and basically admits to shooting and apologizes profusely to her. The problem with that theory, according to the defense, is that, well, he never says he shot her. He's just apologizing profusely, and he could be apologizing for a lot of things. According to the defense, the apology is for basically blowing up Kelsey's spot and revealing that he had been in a relationship with both of them. What side will the jury believe? It's way too early in the evidence. That call on its own means nothing. In fact, the evidence that was presented was through a detective. They asked that detective, hey, when did you listen to this jailhouse call? What can you tell us about it? He basically said, yo, I heard it last week. They asked me to go retrieve it from the system. I retrieved it. I'm playing it here for y'all today. What does it mean? What does he mean? What's he talking about? I don't know that from that, so I couldn't really tell you, and he can't. And the jury is going to be looking at the rest of this evidence to really decide that, hey, man, when this guy's calling Kelsey and saying, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, what's he talking about?
Okay, lots to unpack there. It sounds like Tory Lanez attorney is dropping that Meg and Kelsey used to share, you know, what do guys say? Bros before hoes. So is it sisses before the misters? I don't know. But it sounds like they were sharing. They're sharing their men. That there was some sharation with Tory, Ben Simmons, the baby. Was it the baby or Lil Baby? Okay, like, girl, a lot going on with Meg and her friend Kelsey, and lots of fooling around. Okay, can you believe this? That's what they say happened. I mean, we don't know. Interesting, but that's what the testimony is going on. I mean, look, there was a minute where people were trying to even say Meg didn't even get shot. Clearly Meg was shot. Did Tory Lanez do it? I don't believe it. This is not the first situation that he's been in, but if you want to keep up on this, go to Lawyers for Workers. There's other people who are covering this, but he just really kind of speaks in normal language. You're understanding what legalities are happening, but he's not like over talking in such a way that it's kind of like, what's going on? And he's dropping all the tea. Okay. So Lawyers for Workers, you can see it right here. Like I said, he's got a very different practice, but he's a lawyer nonetheless from New York City. It appears that he is going in and out of court wherever this case is happening. Sounds like he has seats in the courtroom. Okay. So anyway, I don't think he's posted anything else yet because this was supposed to be a two-parter, and I don't think that he dropped the rest of that part yet. But this one here that he has pinned. This is the day. This is about 4 years ago when he.
All right, just getting back into the office today. Crazy day of court. All right, I'm gonna do a quick video about this. I was in court today, and I found myself in the same courtroom as rapper Tekashi 69. I was with some of the guards in there, so they let me know, yo, 6ix9ine's in the building. There's an arraignment going on. You might want to check. Lawyer came up there, and he said, yo, they're trying to deny bail, saying that.
So this is obviously old, right? But I'm just giving you some context of who this guy is, and you can see how he's kind of started blogging basically on his channel about court cases in and maybe outside of the scope of his practice. So when you get over here, it's Lawyers for Workers. Go check out his page. He does a lot of updates on legal cases. He's really interesting. So go check him out. And that's it. And that's all. So Next item. This was interesting to me, and maybe you guys have seen this. I just thought it was funny, and I know you guys are going to be like, Fran, really? But it was funny. I'm sorry. Tommy was at the Intercontinental Hotel and something happened. I'm not so I think this is what I think happened. I think that they left their room and they forgot their key. That happens to a lot of us, right? And you have to know something very specific about what's on your account to gain back access. So the guy at the desk would not give up a key, and they all ended up arguing, and it got pretty ugly. So let's listen a little bit at what happened. She says, so Tommy says, so here's the full video. Mind you, I hate doing this shit like this with a passion, but I feel very insulted. I didn't want to post full videos because of the obvious. I took my wig off, but to everyone says, what's the full story? Here we go. Intercontinental. I don't know which one this was. I guess we could click on it and find out. Stop playing with me. I don't carry myself like I'm on no reality, like I'm on a reality TV in real life. Y'all are crazy for real. I would even be a topic if people couldn't work with me, if my charisma wasn't on point. Are y'all crazy? This isn't right. I don't care how you try to flip it, and I do not support bullying or violence at all. This is awareness. Okay, so let's check this out.
33, 22. Too crazy.
You can show me the ID.
Thank you.
Give me the name of the reservation, please.
What's the room number? 33, 22. Too crazy.
You can show me the ID.
Thank you.
Give me the name of the reservation, please.
What's the room number? 33, 22.
Always in some trouble, right?
Too crazy.
You can show me the ID.
Thank okay.
Give me the name.
Her name. Okay, my name is on the reservation. Yes.
Okay. Only her will go with me.
Okay.
Hey, Max, I'll take her to the room.
I don't want to hear you unless your name is on the reservation.
So that sounds like it was hotel security and then the gentleman at the front desk, right? My assumption is someone forgot their key. They needed access back to the room, and homie was feeling obviously overwhelmed and didn't know how to handle this situation. Meanwhile, he's being filmed by, I guess, some of Tommy's entourage, and looks like the older gentleman was trying to diffuse the situation by saying, look, her name is on the room. Let me take her upstairs and then we'll get the ID. We'll come back downstairs. This guy was losing his shit. So let's continue.
Her name is on. Okay, my name is on the reservation. Yes.
Okay. Only her will go with me.
Okay.
Hey, Max, I'll take her to the room.
I don't want to hear you unless your name is on the reservation. I'm not going to lose.
So I don't know if he decided, forget about security. I'm not letting anyone up at this point.
In the room.
He said he's not doing it, so call the police ourselves.
He's trying to hold her stuff captive.
Nobody's holding you captive.
Her stuff is in the room.
Make me a key or send me up with security.
Right, her stuff is in the room.
Your noise.
In the room.
He said he's not doing it, so call the police ourselves.
He's trying to hold her stuff.
Okay, so he doesn't want to give them access to the room. Now, this is ridiculous, but guys, this just goes to show you, and this happens to a lot of people, especially around this time of year or just year round. People are traveling. Y'all, you got to keep your ID on you. You got to make sure you take your room keys. Sometimes you get 2 keys. Ask for 3 keys. I mean, I'm notorious for leaving my key in a room and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my key. I've never not been given access back to my room, but I don't know if they were, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make an assumption that people were being rowdy or unruly or whatever, or they just came up rude. But at the end of the day, homie, you know what I mean? He had the power to not give you what you needed. And it sounds like, or seems like, because she's having to do this post, the hotel is not really trying to hear anything either. So
Captive.
Let's go to the next one. But the way this ends is not pretty.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make you a key.
My stuff is upstairs, so call the police as fast as you can.
Please.
So I can get my
Her
Why are they talking to this guy at this point? It must have been very late because where is the hotel manager? Unless this guy was the manager, I do not know. But it's like, where is the breakdown that you're paying for your room? You are securing lodging for the night, somewhere to sleep. He's not issuing keys, so yeah, call the police because either they get escorted off property if you can't determine that they actually stay there, um, and or you can get someone to mediate, giving you a key. Why no one has their receipt? No one can pull up their phone. You've got your American Express with the charge on it. I mean, some credit card had to have been run. Somebody pull up a phone with the credit card swipe, with the debit card swipe, something. Call your credit card company and say, hey, I'm here at the Intercontinental. You guys just secured $1,000 on my card. Can you please tell this person it's me? Something, right? I bet you American Express would have been on the phone quickly, right?
stuff is upstairs.
We do this every night.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I'll be able to give you. I'm not gonna make you a key.
My stuff is upstairs, so call the police as fast as you can.
Please.
So I can get my
Her
Okay,
stuff is upstairs.
Hold on for this next one. So he's basically saying we're not giving you access, okay?
Listen, you ugly bitch. Don't talk to me like that.
Who's ugly?
Don't
Oh,
talk to me like
all
that.
right,
Don't call me a
got you.
fucking coon. Don't call me a coon.
What's your name? Let me see
Your
the
mother,
tag.
get out of my face.
Let me see the tag.
Listen, you ugly bitch. Don't talk to me like that.
Who's
okay?
ugly?
Don't
Oh,
talk to me like
all
that.
right,
Don't
got
call me a
you.
fucking coon. Don't call me a coon.
What's your name? Let me see
Your
the
mother,
tag.
get out of my face.
Let me see the tag.
Girl, he said you ugly bitch. And she said, oh, she said, I got you. And then she she says, what is your name? And he said, your mother, you ugly bitch. I mean, now, number one, as a man, you lost it. You lost it. You lost all credibility as a man, as a gentleman. I mean, as far as your job is concerned, they may not be firing you on the spot, but I'm telling you, the recommendation would be you got to go. Even if he felt antagonized, we don't know the whole story. And I'm not saying that anything justifies what his actions. He needs to be terminated, but he needs to be terminated after a very severe coaching. You do not call customers ugly bitches. You do not engage with customers. You do not raise your hands at like the Intercontinental is now liable. This is a court case. Whoever's phone got smacked, this guy, that is an assault. That's illegal. That's number one. That's an assault. Also, this was a company employee who was denying access to someone to their paid hotel room, who engaged in an argument, and now an assault on someone. Now, were they up in his personal space? To me, the fact that he had to lunge and reach, they were not so in your personal space that he's going to be able to say that he felt very threatened. I mean, I don't know how close they were, but it appears the fact that he had to reach his arm out, if they were at arm's length, you could have took a step back. There's no reason for this man to have done what he did. And just on GP of calling the woman an ugly bitch, he could have said, look, I'm shutting down. I'll be monitoring from my office. And once the police arrive, we will handle this once and for all, especially after he felt himself losing his temper. He should have called someone to help him. I'm sure he was not the only person on duty in a huge hotel. You see this, someone else from security was over there trying to get information, trying to de-escalate. This guy lost his shit completely. And honestly, I would think that he's about to lose his job. He should absolutely be suspended. I don't know what Tommy and company did, but at the end of the day, as someone on the clock, you should not lose your cool ever. Now, someone touched him. Absolutely. You can defend yourself, but it's a very odd position to be in. losing your cool at your job is a must never. It's a must never. It's a must never happen. Let's listen one more time if you're just coming in. Homie lost his shit.
Don't call me a fucking coon.
He said, "Don't call me a fucking coon."
Your mother, get out of my face.
Let me see the tag.
Listen, you ugly bitch. Don't talk to me like that.
Who's
okay?
ugly?
He said, "Listen, you ugly bitch, don't talk to me like that. Don't call me a coon. Don't call me a coon." And someone else said,
Talk to me like
All
that.
right,
Don't call me a
got you.
fucking
she said,
coon.
"All right, got you. If you wanted to know why the name of today's live stream is called All Right, Got You, you just figured it out, okay? Homie was mad, okay? I don't know. This just went left very quick. If he doesn't have people skills, you should never be in a position, especially as a man, you are dealing with two women. These women could have been very unreasonable, but at the end of the day, as a man, be a man. Okay, that was very bitchified, bitch assness. It's very 22 lame dude behavior. If you felt like you're following the rules and you're doing your job, you should have never let them provoke you to the point where you lost your cool and you are standing as less than a man, because you are going to be this guy on the internet for the rest of your life. Calling a woman a bitch, looking like a bitch, and trying to slap a woman potentially. I don't know who was filming. Was it a woman? Was it a man? But you, as an employee of this hotel, I promise you, I would never want to go to a hotel like this, because I don't know how the people are going to react. And you got people on your premises who lose their cool. Okay. This is the hotel right here. This is the Intercontinental San Francisco. I just clicked on the link. Apparently this is a problem. Intercontinental, and we know the Intercontinental in Atlanta. We see it all the time, always playing out. This is bad news for that hotel, that you would have such an incident happen here, and that you have employees who would engage in such behavior. I really would want to know, does this guy even still work here? You should not have anyone on your premises who would lose their cool in such a manner. I don't care if the damn baddies showed up with damn Krishan and Blueface, or the damn rowdiest people on the internet showed up. You do not lose your cool in such a manner with a lady. It's awful. Even if the lady's not acting like a lady. And I'm not saying Tommy and them were not. They seem to be calm, but they seem to be adamant in their stance of what they were, the service that they were trying to get, which is to get their key, to get access back to their room. And he seemed like he was being quite difficult. And didn't know how to handle the situation. It's unfortunate, right? Guys, we have some really good news. Let me pivot to this one really quick. There is a beautiful young lady who was featured on Afro Unicorn official Instagram. Okay. Okay. All right. Look at this. Look at the beautiful Amaya. Happy birthday, Amaya. Afro Unicorn decided that they were going to show the beautiful Amaya, who turned 7 years old. Our Afro Unicorn, Amaya Davis, Jazzy Kid, celebrated her 7th magical birthday last week. Everyone, please send her some birthday love. Okay. This is posted on Afro Unicorn, of which I knew nothing about up until a couple of weeks ago, and they went ahead and posted this. So they reposted from My Jazzy Life. Jasmine, get up off your ass and stop being ratchet. You've got people who are featuring your channel now, and your daughter, and girl, can we act accordingly? Okay. Okay. Look at that. Amaya, girl. Look at that. Happy birthday, little sis. And that's it. And that's all. I mean, guys, Instagram had a lot going on that I had to dedicate a whole a whole thing. Okay, girl. Instagram had a lot going. Girl, sis is tired. Okay, I'm going to make me a second cup of coffee. But girl, we are going to keep up on Meg, and girl, it's juicy. She deserved it. She really did. She did. So good for her. Good for Jasmine taking some good pictures and having something available, and Amaya looking cute and all of the things to be featured. As mom said, Afro Unicorn so many times. See, Jasmine, see how it works? If you are out here doing what you're supposed to do and have the kids in the place to receive their accolades, they will. Okay. So good for you. Good job doing your job. It was very nice. I'm happy that Amaya got what she deserved, which was a very nice birthday. I personally wasn't trying to give a whole, like, you know what I'm saying? We as moms, this is what we do. Jasmine, good job doing your job once again. And Amaya gets her praise and all the things, and very nice for the company to feature this beautiful child that we've, been watching grow up on this internet. And that's it, and that's all. I hope that's the sign for some many things to come. And that's it, guys. Do you guys have anything else for us to cover? We're going to revisit a lot of this because there's so much going on right now, girl. So much going on. Okay. There is that one balloon Hips went to get blown up. And that was the Afro Unicorn one. Well, that was the one that was most important. She looked beautiful. Whoever took the pictures, good job. So that was a good job. I'm assuming it was Jasmine. Good for her. That's very nice. Anyway, guys, unless you guys have anything else for me, if you did not watch the live last night, go ahead, get caught up. I think that's it for today, but I'll be back. I'll be back a little bit later with more news, tea, gossip, and maybe a reaction. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. More news, more tea, more gossip. I know we're overdue for some conversation over at Real Talk Bougie. You guys let me know, okay, what you want to see next, and we'll make that happen, okay? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm getting ready to lose my voice. I'm getting ready to either drink some coffee or some tea. So I'm happy that she had a wonderful birthday. She deserved it. Absolutely. Don't we all? If you're out here and you celebrate birthdays, it's nice to be celebrated. It's nice for your people to let you know how much they love you, and have a joyous and wonderful celebration, right? So yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna let you guys go. We'll talk again soon. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you want to talk about next. And we'll make that happen. Okay. All right. Take care. Hey, Natalie. Okay, everyone who joined later, Apple Pie, everyone, Live, Laugh, Love, everybody who was in the chat today, Hairbug, all my ladies, Mars, Dev, everyone, Cinnamon, Hey Boo Boo, NCA&T, everyone who I didn't get to see and talk to, TA, everyone, Bougie Gang. Thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. Is it Crown? I don't know how to say your name, sis. I'm so sorry. Is it? Thank you for joining. She called him a good. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Sis, whose name I can't. Please put something in the comments so I know how to address you next time. But I know it's something. Crown me, maybe Crown Me Doll. I might be wrong on that, but sis, welcome, and I appreciate you coming through. And everyone, thank you for coming through. You guys make this fun for me every single day. So Olivia Pope, hey boo boo. That's it and that's all. Okay, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Okay.